Well, I was thinking about this, and I think it has to be all by myself. Or the Celine Dion version, probably the Jordancon one, the remastered one. I sort of have this fancy that Leandrin sort of takes out her braids, makes herself a martini and kicks back to some soft yacht rock.
Yacht rock, I love it.
What a life. So, yeah, she's a big yacht rock fan. So, all by myself is probably something she knows backwards.
Loyal's theme song would be the Golden Ghost theme song.
This question I should have prepped for, but I didn't. I mean, I would just choose something that I love, because if you're doing a crossover with Wheeloftime, you're just doing it to have fun. So I love to have a Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But if we get some good people to do the music, I think it'd be fun.
Musical episode.
I think my favorite moment was simply the first time Rosamund and I walked through the two rivers in character, in costume, as Light and Moraine. And the actual first scene we shot together was the scene where we've just come out of the wine spring and we're walking through the town square, the courtyard. And she said, you didn't sleep last night. And that we have work to do, and I just take off on the horse. And that was the very first scene we shot together. And it was just really amazing that day. You know, you're nervous, you're excited, you're finally starting this journey, you're hoping everything goes well, and it was a beautiful, beautiful moment. And you saw all this effort come together with the sets and the costumes and everything. And so it was really special. I mean, the whole first season coming together, starting the show was very special. The various dinners we had as a cast and crew, just the moments of getting to know each other, the stunt training. There were so many moments, and there are many more to come.
One key moment I remember from season 1 is where Karen has an injury on his leg from the Charlotte fight in episode 1, and the balls come out, and sort of one of them licks the wound, which heals it, and that was a beautiful moment. I didn't know how we were going to film it, but the dog training, the dog having this incredible little bit of heat, sort of like a pate paste on the wound, and it hit its marks. It managed to look up to the camera. It was quite amazing, really. You never really know filming with real animals how it's going to go, but it's really, really exciting, especially moving forward into season 2, to have like real animals to work with. And yeah, they were like so professional, way more professional than me.
It's a very simple moment. It's after the opening credits, to be honest. It's when Nynaeve and Egwene in the women's circle. I just sends chills up my spine when you arrive in that landscape, the green landscape, and all the women up on the rock, and Zoe and Maddie giving beautifully subtle performances of what this baptism is going to be for them. My favourite moments tend to be the slightly tender, gentle moments, and I think that's something that this show really creates and expands on. And of course it's fantasy, and of course it is epic and wide and has huge aperture, but for me it's always the slightly more romantic moments and the gentler, subtler moments between characters that give me chills and are my favourite moments.
My favourite moment in season 1 would have to be episode 4, and where Nynaeve unleashes full power to save everyone. That was an amazing moment in season 1 for me.
Really excited with season 2. We've tried to take a chance in this season to spend time with each of the characters individually, and I think it gives you this amazing opportunity to get more into their headspace the way you can in a book when you who are reading a chapter from their POV. So I'm most excited about both book fans, but also people who don't know the books as well, to be able to spend time with each of these characters, see what they're like on their own, what they feel, what they want from the world, and be able to track them through the season. Because I think when you have all of the characters moving as a group in a TV show, it can be harder to get into their interior emotional lives. So, we're doing all kinds of cool stuff. Don't get me wrong, in season 2, but that's the thing that I'm most excited about is for people to just get to know them better and get to see what they really want and how they're progressing. Because when you get to the end of season 2, some of those characters feel almost unrecognizable to who they were at the start of season 1. 5 words or less.
Or less.
We are going to fall.
It looks very metropolitan.
Well, that was fun.
All right, I made some quick notes while we were watching the video. The name of Avienda's actress is Ayula Smart. And it seems like she is best known for episodes of Killing Eve here in the United States and her work in the British theater. So that sounds promising. So I'm excited to learn more about Ayula and how she's playing Avienda in the next season of The Wheel of Time. Let's see, how are we doing on that? Yeah, we got a few minutes to chat about this. Okay. All right, table mic, yay, that's so much easier. Okay, so yes, I see your hands. Give me just a minute. Let me get set up, okay? All right, so, Jed.
Okay, and I'm probably going to murder her name. The actor who plays Loyal is...
Yeah.
How adorable is it that Evie's Loyal's theme song is the Golden Girl? I love her so much.
All right, yeah, so, Jen, what were your first impressions? What's your takeaway from this?
That I want Kate Fleetwood to be my new bestie.
Yes, you're so cool.
And I'll listen to Yacht Rock with her.
Yeah, she's adorable. I want to keep her. Okay. All right. Let's see. I know some of you guys have some questions. Do I have someone that can run mics for me in here?
I'll got a mic.
Yes. Thank you, Susan. Okay. So here's what we're going to do, just to make life easy for Susan. Susan, why don't you come up to the front of the room and stand right here? And then if you have a comment or just like something cool you want to share from what you saw, we can make a nice little line here. We've got about 15 minutes, so we can't accommodate all of you, but if you have something you want to share, please feel free. So we'll give people a minute to come on up.
So while people are coming up, I want to say I think Daniel Henney must have answered every single question that we sent over, and they just edited it down. Also, a delightful person.
Yeah. Who wants to do metal with Daniel Henney? Yeah, and I have a note here on my paper. It says Daniel Henney for Artist Guest of Honor. We'll see. No promises. Okay.
I just wanted to know if the video is going to be made available.
It is already on YouTube.
So I was like, I'm filming this, I probably should post it on YouTube.
It's up. It's now. Yeah. It actually went live on YouTube before we were able to get it running in here because we were doing it. So the YouTubers are like 5 minutes ahead of us. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm a Jordancon newbie. This is my first year. Thank you so much. We heard at the very end that you mentioned Falma at the very end. Do you think we'll see Rand fly in the air to fight Ishmael in the show? What are your thoughts?
I mean, that's what I'm paying my Prime subscription for, right? No, I mean, I think that's a good point. The show's been fairly grounded in how it handles a lot of things, but Rand up in the sky is so iconic. Like, I have a fan art of it in my house. But yeah, that's good to know. Like, let's find out. Yeah, we'll put it on the next question list we send to Amazon.
Explain it a little better, maybe.
Hi, I'm Jackie, also a first timer. When Daniel Penny was talking about the funny moment of Rosamund trying to open the trash can with the foot, he actually has a video of that. He posted online. And to be fair to his Instagram, it is hilarious, and to know the context behind it is even funnier.
Well, we're going to look for that a little bit. Okay. All right. Let's see. Anybody else? Oh, yeah, more people.
Follow up on that, I have to give, he's such an incredible entertainer. He listed Rosamund's height, and then he did this somewhere above camera, just pointing out, oh, she's tiny.
That's great.
Daniel is fantastic. I have really enjoyed watching him as Lon, and I enjoy all of his fan interactions with us so much.
Great.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Does anybody else have a question or comment? Do I give up with something? Okay. All right. So one of the questions I had while I was watching the video is, I wonder what they were filming in Italy, because Daniel said something about like a really powerful lawn and moraine scene on a cliff over the ocean, and I can't think of anything that is from the books that would match that. So it might be something they invented.
He's got a theory.
I was going to say, I have a comment on that. So I think
Oh, sure. Go for it.
Rich said on the Empire Spoilers podcast that a lot of their storyline is going to be off book. Like, it's going to be a lot of new stuff that we don't see in the book. So that's probably why we can't figure it out.
And that's kind of what I was thinking too, because we know Moraine's ending of the first season does not match the ending of the first book. So I think they're going to be creating a lot of new Lon Moraine things. So I'm kind of curious to see what happens, because so far I really enjoyed their relationship and how it's been portrayed in the series. Okay, all right, let's see, what's my next note? I have a note saying, what scene with Avi were they filming in the background? They said it was an iconic scene from the books.
Maybe it was like Dance With Me, Shadow
A
Man.
fight scene, yes, an iconic fight scene from the books.
Well, then maybe they moved it.
Wait, what?
I think that what they used are black things, because we didn't think they were going into practicing. They just said they were practicing a fight scene.
Or Turok and Rand.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I thought it would be.
Yeah,
Turok and Rand.
Palm and Tier, so that we don't have 3 or 4 balls on fights in a row. So I think they're gonna, I don't know if they're gonna make a stone there, but they're gonna just, I have a feeling that they're just gonna combine all that.
Yeah, no, that would make sense to combine some of that. We did see the Stone of Tyr in the background of Swain's backstory. So I don't think they would have moved it to home, but they could have moved something other things. Like you're right, a bunch of Balzamon fights in a row are going to be pretty, like, it's going to be like Harry Potter and Voldemort. Like, why can't you just kill this 11-year-old?
Just kill this old man.
We know there's a lot of variety in pronunciations. We just heard tear. That was a mistake, we hope, right? I just want your opinion.
I mean, but, there's what Robert Jordan said, and then there's whatever happens on the show. Like, the books are the books, and the show is the show. And let's be fair, a lot of us here had our own pronunciations before we started interacting with fans. And yeah, like Robert Jordan himself had corrected my pronunciation of several things when I met him. So yeah, that was a fun story.
We can't even agree on how to pronounce real countries. So, if we pronounce real countries correctly, how are we going to pronounce fake countries correctly?
All right, let's see. No, it's not a good story. It doesn't make me look good. All right, let's see. I have some silly notes. Mean Girls Tarbalon. The real Aes Sedai of Tarbalon. That's my new fanfic I'm working on right now. And I have another note that says, how gay will this get? And like I have a little smiley face next to that. So I remember when I was initially reading the Wheel of Time as like a teenager and young adult, and like thinking, oh, that's kind of cool. Like there's some like gay people in the background, and like not really thinking much about it. And then as I reread it as an older adult with my current understanding of gender and sexuality, like it really does feel to me like something's missing, right? I find myself when I read New Spring to get a little annoyed that Swan and Moraine like are so close and so tight and have this very passionate relationship with each other, and then as soon as they graduate, they immediately start hooking up with dudes. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't feel authentic to me anymore, right? And so I think making Swan and Moraine more canonical, bringing that to the forefront, making them like this is their core relationship. One, it solves a logistical problem that the show created for itself because Tom and Moraine have not met each other yet, and I think if I mapped out the timeline correctly, the most time that Tom and Moraine spent with each other is that road trip from Emmonsfield to Barrymore. So if they haven't met each other by this point, they're not going to like get to know each other well enough for a relationship to form. So I think having Moraine and Swan be each other's core relationship kind of solves that problem. Well, it's not really a problem, but it kind of like it gives them something for their characters to do. So.
I was hoping that about
Really?
Yeah.
And I feel like Kate Fleetwood is more into the show than Sophie.
Alright, that's fine.
I could see
So the love that all of a
that a
sudden.
little bit.
Okay, alright, any other comments from the audience? Yeah, come on up, you guys can make a line down here.
Let's go on more your thoughts. Do you think that they may cut Adelius and Varndine from the show and replace them with Verin, and that may potentially be Moraine and Lana's storyline going to find Verin as a retired sister that's researching old knowledge?
So that actually sounds really awesome.
Okay.
I like it.
That's
So,
good.
yeah,
That's
like
good.
maybe I like it. But yeah, having like we know they're going to have to cut some poor characters. We're not going to have all 1,000 Aes Sedai on camera. That sounds fun though. But yeah, no, I think giving Verin more to do like that is probably a good way of conserving characters.
Yeah, maybe not.
Probably really possible,
Maybe not
but I also
retired.
feel like maybe somebody just stabbed me in the heart when you said that.
I'm still, hoping that Lucy Wallace is in the show, and I was hoping he would have said Xena would have been a great crossover. Maybe the movie would have crossover.
So let's see, if I was going to cast Lucy Wallace in the show, God, I mean, really whatever she wants, right?
Yeah. Literally anyone.
And she'd be awesome as any of the Aes Sedai.
Suin. I said Suin.
Suin. I like that. Suin, yeah. Brigida? She could dye her hair. Yeah, she'd be awesome as a Brigida, especially to do that kind of older sister vibe with Elaine. Yeah, because Elaine definitely is going to need someone to keep her out of trouble. Aguianan? Yeah. That'd be good.
Aguianan. Yeah.
Highland Sarah? Yeah. All right, what's up?
In the Ask Me Anything, any questions were directed particularly to Donald Flynn, and if they just didn't have an answer.
So it was whatever, we did not know which cast members were going to be available, so we didn't specify anything to any member of the cast.
I think the only one specific was the language question.
Yeah. Well, so honestly, the loyal question, I expected ISIS to answer that one. I did not expect Hamad to do that one. So, yeah. But we also, I can tell you, Amazon overwrit some of our questions. They rephrased a few things. So, yeah.
No Steve answers.
Any spicy questions that did not get answered?
Yeah. Who is Steve?
See me later.
Steve.
No, okay, so obviously we put the questionnaire on the internet, and we are all familiar with the internet, right? Okay, so the vast majority of the questions were incredibly positive. were incredibly engaged and happy and had really thoughtful, interesting things that they were going to ask. We did have a lot of similar questions that we kind of grouped together, but you could tell when the angry people finally found the 4.
Oh, yeah.
Because all of a sudden, boom, 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 like 5 things in a row that were like, what is this?
The light clip showed up.
But that was really a small amount of the overall questions. We had, something like 200, 300 questions submitted. I'll go need a speaker. We understand, we're around. But yeah, so the vast majority of the questions that we got were incredibly positive, incredibly supportive of the show. There were some cranky ones, and those were hilarious. But that was not the majority of what we received. It was actually pretty heartwarming to read all of your comments.
Can we roast the bad questions?
See us later in the bar.
Okay. Any final thoughts from anybody in the audience? Because we're close on time.
Does anyone literally have a video? Like a kid like this. I went through his whole Twitter, Instagram.
It's on our YouTube.
Oh, the